Okay, so car insurance. It's pretty simple. Pay a premium for the coverage, and if you get involved in an accident, you're taken care of. Simple, right? Well, not exactly. These days, insurance companies have turned to commodity advertising. In other words, the name of the game is who's the cheapest. But saving money is all fun and games until someone gets hurt. Literally. So let's break down your coverage. The first coverage you have is liability. You know, like if you owe money. That's a liability. Or if you're found at fault in an accident and cause damages, you owe money. That's what liability does. It pays for that. The problem is insurance companies make this extremely complicated and they put the choice in your hands, the consumer, which wouldn't be so bad if it was easy to understand. So let's simplify it. This is an example of some of your liability options. Let's use this one to explain. The 250 number means if you injure someone, the insurance company will pay for their injuries up to $250,000. That's your limit. The middle number, 500, means that $500,000 is the most the insurance company will pay out for injuries in that accident. Like if a couple people got hurt, the total per person limit is $250 and the total per accident limit is $500. Hopefully that makes sense. The third number is property damage liability. This is the maximum the insurance company will pay for property damage to bumpers, exterior, or even building damage. So in this example, it shows $100,000 will be the limit. Now, let's make things even more complicated. You have uninsured and underinsured coverage. This is an example of your choices. Let's use the same example to keep things easy. This coverage will pay if you are injured in an accident where the other person was at fault and the other person forgot to have insurance, or maybe didn't carry high enough limits to pay for your injuries. Some states even have uninsured and underinsured property damage coverage, and it would work the same way. So, using our example, the most your insurance company will pay is $250,000 per person and $500,000 per accident. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. If those people are covered anyway, what's the point of having insurance? Well, first of all, if you're caught driving without insurance, you'll probably get a ticket, and sometimes your license suspended. Even worse, if you did cause an accident that was your fault, the insurance company, with all their money and resources for litigation, would turn to you for repayment of the damages. Okay. Hopefully you're still with me. Now, some states have this thing called no-fault law. This law requires an insurance company to pay a part of your medical expenses after an accident, regardless of fault. This is called no-fault coverage or even personal injury protection. They mean the same thing. There are other things that they have to pay for, which may include wage losses, some funeral expenses, living expenses, etc. It's best to talk to your insurance provider to find out exactly what's covered and what your limits are. But most states have MedPay, which pays a portion of your medical expenses when you're injured in a car accident. You can also add stacking, which would double, triple, or quadruple your no-fault benefits depending on the number of cars you have in your household. This is helpful when you max out your benefits from a serious injury. But be careful because a lot of agents and carriers don't offer or explain this. Additionally, you can choose to carry death coverage, which would pay a set dollar amount if you died in an auto accident. The nice thing about having no-fault MedPay and death coverage is that they follow the driver. In other words, if you get injured or die as a passenger, or get hit by a car while you're taking a nice walk, there may be coverage available. Inversely, if you borrow a friend's car, you are now using their liability and uninsured limits, so be careful next time you borrow a friend's car. Okay, we're done talking about the complicated stuff, so let's talk about your car. If you have a new car or a loan on your car, you'll usually carry comprehensive and collision damage coverage. Some people call this full coverage. However, this term is deceptive, and I'll explain why. First, collision pays for your own car if you hit something. This could be anything, another car, a light post, a street sign, or really anything you could have avoided, even a pothole. Now, if someone else hits you, you can claim collision damage on your own insurance. You'd still be responsible for your deductible, but if your insurance company gets compensated from the other party or their insurance, they usually pay your deductible back. Speaking of deductible, this is a set dollar amount you would pay before the insurance company would pay. The higher your deductible, the lower your insurance cost. This is because you're retaining more risk. Now, The reason why full coverage is a deceptive term is because full coverage really means insurance without a deductible. That's why you can buy full glass coverage, which a lot of people carry so they don't have to pay out of pocket for a windshield crack or chip. This type of claim would fall under comprehensive. Comprehensive damage is anything you couldn't control, like that deer that jumped in front of you, or that tree that fell on your car, or the hoodlum that stole your car. You pay your deductible and the insurance company compensates you. Now, insurance companies have started offering a lot of extras. Some common ones include emergency road service and rental car coverage. Pretty self-explanatory. Emergency road service will send someone to help get your car towed, jump-started, or unlocked. Sometimes we'll even pay for travel expenses depending on your insurance company. Rental car reimbursement will pay for a rental car when your car is temporarily disabled from an accident or a claim. Some other extras include new car replacement, stereo upgrade replacement, gap insurance, and more. Well, hopefully you now understand a little bit more about your auto insurance coverages. Thank you for watching and look out for Part 2. Part 2 will get more in depth and will explain things you should know when buying insurance. Thanks again for watching.